when Jessica stared straight at me and said, "We live our own lives, Michael. Where I go and what I do isn't your concern." Something inside me broke cleanly in half. For years, I'd been the reliable one. The man who kept the lights on, repaired whatever fell apart, showed up to every holiday gathering with a polite smile and a steady presence. Meanwhile, Jessica had been drifting farther and farther away, always glued to her phone, always off with people I'd never met. I kept convincing myself it was temporary, that marriages sometimes went through quiet stretches. But that night didn't feel like a quiet stretch. It sounded like she was drawing a line in the sand. She wasn't just asking for space. She was pushing me out. I leaned back, forcing myself to stay composed. "Separate lives, is that what you're saying?" I asked slowly. She didn't even look up, just kept scrolling. I nodded once. "All right, if that's what you want, then our finances will be separate too." Her head lifted immediately. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I've been funding this marriage by myself while you've been wherever you've been. If I'm not your partner in life, I won't be your personal bank either." Shock flashed across her face, quickly replaced by anger. "You wouldn't dare." "Oh, I absolutely would." I stood, grabbed my laptop, and started moving money into an account with only my name on it. I'd been too trusting for too long, letting her handle part of our savings. Luckily, I'd kept a quiet emergency stash, and the emergency had finally arrived. "You can't just cut me off," she yelled. "That's not what marriage is." I laughed under my breath. "Marriage? You're the one who said we're living separately. You want independence? Fine. But you're not going to enjoy it on my dime." For the first time in ages, real fear flickered in her eyes. And I realized she'd only been bold because she assumed I'd never stand up for myself. Now she knew better. She tried to recover her footing, but her voice shook. "Michael, stop. You can't just freeze me out financially. We built this life together." I leaned against the doorway, arms folded. Built together? Or did I build it while you played tourist? Be honest. You haven't paid the mortgage in years. I pay for the trips, the car, the credit cards you use on dinners I'm never invited to. All of it. Me. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. By morning, I'd redirected my paycheck, locked down the joint account, and put the cards under review. By noon, her phone was buzzing with declined purchases. That evening, she paced the room like a trapped animal. "My car didn't work at the salon," she snapped. "Do you know how humiliating that was?" "Not as humiliating as finding out your wife considers herself single while she's still burning through her husband's money," I replied. "So this is punishment," she hissed. "You're trying to control me." "No. This is what you asked for. Separate lives. That means you cover your own expenses and your own secrets." Her complexion paled. Jessica loved the illusion of freedom, not the responsibility that came with it. Over the next few days, her perfect little world began to crumble. The friends who once circled her like satellites stopped inviting her out when she couldn't pick up the bill. Yoga classes vanished from her calendar. Her standing appointments evaporated. The lifestyle she curated with my paycheck fell apart piece by piece. One night, I found her sitting alone at the kitchen table, staring at her phone with red eyes. "Something wrong?" I asked. She looked up. "Michael, can we talk?" I didn't mean what I said. I was upset. I shook my head. "No, you meant it. You just didn't expect to live with the consequences." Her apology felt thin and practiced, the same old routine she used whenever she sensed me slipping away. This time, I didn't take the bait. "Jessica," I said, sitting across from her, "you're not sorry, you're scared. Scared of losing the comfort you enjoyed while pretending you didn't need me." "That's not true," she whispered. "I love you." "Love doesn't hide," I said quietly. "It doesn't vanish at night, or send secret messages, or shut the door on honest questions. Love isn't declaring independence while expecting someone else to fund it." She tried to speak, but I held up a hand. "I've talked to a lawyer. The accounts are already separated. The house will be sold, and the money will be split fairly. You'll have your share, but you won't be living off me anymore." Her face drained of color. The defiance evaporated. Reality had finally arrived. Weeks later, everything was finalized. I moved into a small apartment downtown, quiet, peaceful, mine. Jessica kept trying to reach me with tearful pleas about starting over, but I let them pass unanswered. I had already started over. One morning, walking by the river, I ran into Megan, an old friend. We talked as if no years had passed, easy, genuine, warm. No hidden motives, no power games. Just connection. I hadn't realized how starved I'd been for that. When the divorce papers were finally signed, Jessica barely met my eyes. "Goodbye, Michael," she murmured. I walked out feeling lighter than I had in years. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't trying to survive a marriage that hollowed me out. I was free, and that freedom was worth more than anything she'd ever pretended to offer.